So once the guys had saw some flashing lights on the legs, I think the communication really was on taking the literature from A-Safe itself, so sort of the product specification, and then just talking through the shifts one by one in terms of what the RackEye trial and the pilot was really about. Again, it wasn't about trying to point a finger, let's say, at people in terms of their driving behaviours, but mainly just raise awareness. So one thing that RackEye has really done is hone in people's awareness of their driving, let's say, standards. So we've had a big thing on retraining and raising people's awareness. But I think more importantly, I think it's all about the way the lads have accepted it, the way the team have accepted it. It's very interesting now when you walk in the morning, if an alert has gone off, the team are now coming in and saying, have you had a RackEye alert because it was me? Or so ownership-wise, they've took real ownership of it. And they are hungry now, let's say, for the data that's coming out of RackEye. So every month when we put the KPI reports in, they're really interested to see if the trend's gone down. And they're really honing in on that, do you know what I mean, as a team, to say what areas are now the problem, and they're all coming up with good ideas on the way we can improve it even further. So we can't get it in quick enough to the rest of the plant. Certain example we had was purely where we had if we looked at the trend, there's a certain hot spot, which purely was down to the meshing on the racking being damaged, that was kept getting caught as there was taking material off the rack. So that came back as a feedback from the team. We've changed the mesh, now we've got no hot spot. So it's just awareness, the team sort of understanding what's triggering the impact or the alert, and then actioning it. So without the RackEye, I don't think we would have picked up on that, because it was a local thing, so it was local knowledge, so the drivers knew about it, and it's been a long-term issue. So, but because we've been able to go, well, what's happening in this area? Why do we keep getting these certain hazards and alerts in this area? Straight away, the mindset of the team is, oh yeah, we've got a problem with the rack. So, do you know what I mean? It's improved communication and feedback tap back to us to actually action what the data's doing for us. And then we're triggering a number of events and a number of actions off the back of that data. So they always say data's valuable. I think the RackEye's really proved that data can be ultimately valuable to improve the safety on your site. And looking at it from an overall team viewpoint, I think the culture that we're trying to adopt in the plant, we're trying to really sort of develop a high performance culture in the plant. I think from logistically, I'm very proud of the lads in terms of the way they've adapted to that. And by getting them involved early and making them aware of it from day one, they've really took ownership of it. And like I say, they've all got their own designated areas that they're responsible for, and they've really grasped it. They really understand what it can, the benefits it can do it. Again, it's not about blame, it's just about ownership, it's about accountability. And the lads have really, really grasped that in terms of improving their working environment, because at the end of the day, it's their working environment, it's their equipment. All we're doing is just highlighting the risks to them. Sometimes it might be a bit of a competitive streak, let's say, within the team, but I think more it's about they take ownership, definitely take ownership. And they're really, I think as a plant from a safety viewpoint, not only with the A-Safe products we've got across the plant, but I also think with the other improvements we've done and the awareness we've done with the drivers on forklift training has made the site a whole lot safer. Massively safer than what previously or prior. I think we've come a long way in a short time in terms of the safety, and A-Safe's really only added to that to help us do that.
Yeah, massively changed driver behaviour. Just having these on, the change in the drivers and how they work with the racking is totally different. We have certain pinch points where we know that the racking's, you know what I mean, not maybe in the best position, or it's slightly, yeah, a little bit tight on certain aisles, but now we have RackEye in, we can identify that, and the lads are coming to us now. Instead of if they knock it, they're coming directly into the office to us and saying, yeah, we've had an impact. You know what I mean? So in theory, having RackEye has driven that improvement from the lads, and the ownership is just, you know what I mean, has changed totally.
Whenever we install something new on site, We do a full project review and understand what it's going to bring to us. We look at the risks and where things are involved, and always ensure that we have the buy-in from the operators, the ladies and gentlemen on the shop floor, to make sure they're involved and they have their input. If you keep them involved right from the beginning, you get a lot more buy-in and support once you implement new systems and new pieces of equipment, new concepts.